Should I wait just a moment or? And you go to Facebook Live? Okay. When it shows 10 o'clock, I'm starting. Good morning, it's 10 a.m. on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, and welcome to Boulevard Realty's weekly update that we hold each Tuesday here at 10 a.m. This is week 8 of what is basically shelter in place, or since we've been more or less quarantined and isolated and social distancing. And so I just want to bring us up to date. I'm not going to spend as much time today. I hope that if you are new to this, that you go back and watch some of my previous episodes that are posted on our Boulevard Realty site or on Facebook, because sometimes I'm just not going to rehash the exact same information over and over. But I do just want to say where we're at. I mean, we're entering this new phase 1, as Governor Abbott called it, as we are slowly re-entering back into some form of normalcy over here. And if you just want to glance where we're at as a city, because I think people do care, back on Reddy Harris, you can kind of see, are we truly flattening any curve? And the reality of it is yes, locally here, we are doing a pretty good job of maintaining the coronavirus, and most of the indicators continue to be positive. This is Harris County and the city of Houston, the total number of cases, and you can imagine as you test more and more, the number of cases should escalate, but it's not escalating exponentially. It's actually even less than you would think. So this is a day-to-day update. This is as of yesterday. You can see 3 people in the city of Houston tested positive yesterday. These test results, of course, could be 4 days old, 7 days old. They're certainly not up to date, but the curve itself in the city of Houston is at least flattened. And if you look at Harris County, similar sort of information, doing a better job of testing in some of the areas that had not been tested before, Sunnyside, getting further east, further south, further west, or whatever. So this is Harris County. If you see the combination of the two, in general, I wouldn't say it's great, but anytime that you're at least reducing or flattening and not seeing the same spike. Of course, as we open back up much of the economy, you're going to see, did you share with me, Aaron? I don't think I shared, but no, but it's okay. I don't think I hit share, so I'm not sure the people on the screen could see what I was seeing, but let's get me back to share. I'm not sure where I even am. I don't think we're not for this moment. I at least tested negative this week. So yeah, if I share the screens, this was the information I was showing with you on Harris, Reddy Harris. This is the combined Harris County City of Houston numbers. This is just Harris County, and this is just the City of Houston positive cases. If you look down, and of course I showed how to do it last week or two, if you look at the number of beds available, there are more beds available than normal. ICU appears to be flat. The ventilators appears to be flat or down. So at least the capacity appears to be there to address the society as we ramp up a little. Of course, everyone anticipates more cases. They just need the ability for the medical facilities to be able to address the need as we have. So I think we can slowly move into these next phases, and we'll see. Of course, maintaining social distancing and health practices. It's repeated over and over and over and over. So That's kind of the general scenario. The number of cases increasing, but the number of people recovering increasing. We should be in this phase. I think the governor said sometime between May 18th and May 20th, where you'd be able to go to phase 2, which would be increased capacity at some restaurants. Many restaurants, of course, aren't going to open until they get to greater capacity. It just doesn't make economic sense at 25%. But you're slowly seeing segments of the retail and business community open back up. We at Boulevard Realty, of course, are still very cautious. We're not opening up our office. We're not hosting any public open houses. We're going to maintain a very cautious deal. Your safety, the safety and security of the public, of our agents, of our clients who are both buyers and sellers remains foremost on our mind. And so we do encourage you, if you still want to test, please sign up. It's easier and easier and easier the greater capacity that we have. Most people I advise, if you're doing the city test, sign up in the morning, go late in the afternoon. If you go at 2:30, at 3 o'clock, often you can just zoom right in, take your test, and you're in and out within 10 minutes. It's not always the case, but it's happened that way for many of us. And so I encourage you, if you're mildly curious, get a test, and we'll continue to work on more and more testing as we go. The market's what you really care about. You didn't care about my editorial on the coronavirus. So we continue to look at what's happening in real estate. And I mean, there are many good things that are happening. If I look just here at the number of views, this is Boulevard Realty's views on the intranet, 2020 versus 2019. You can actually see the number of views is up. It's not spectacular, but it's better than it was last year. So we're actually getting 303 views per listing, and the total number of views is up at a time when the total number of listings is down. So we have fewer listings than we had a year ago, but we have more views. And I think this is reflective of A, people being at home, B, being a little bored, trying to see what's going on in the market, maybe anticipating for something that's going to happen in the very near future. So the number of views goes up. And then, of course, we've been talking, the main thing that applies to real estate is supply and demand. As the inventory remains low and the demand stays steady, there's a balance in the marketplace, and we continue to see that balance. If you look at, we've been reviewing the weekly summary, and I'm going to look at a little bit. This is the monthly summary, single family housing greater than 500,000 in the Heights, in Montrose, in West University, in the more rural villages. You can see the number of inventory compared to 1 year ago is down. Number of sales is down also, but it appears to be in balance. So what I continue to look at is what's going on in the previous week. This is a 7-day recap. Your real estate agent can pull this up by 1 day, 3 days, 7 days, 1 month, by any particular area. This is the Heights, and I continue to watch these numbers. The number of listings is inching up a little bit as we got to phase 1. So you see in the last 7 days, 129 new listings, but we continue to see a fair number. This is just in 7 days, 51 homes got under contract. Many of these homes immediately, day 1, day 2, day 3. Houses got out of the option period and either went to pending, continue to show, or pending, and 52 homes sold in the last week. When I look at what's sold, you're still seeing a wide variety of price points from, here's a 1.499 sold for 1.49. Here's a 1.395 sold for 1.35. You're seeing a little softening, 849 to 832, 619 to 685. But overall, for houses that were newer on the market, they still sold. This house, I think we talked about last week, sold quickly for $2 million. They had manipulated the square footage. They had added the garage apartment. It was not really 4,293 square feet. It was really only 3,600 square feet, and it didn't appraise for 2.95. It appraised for 1.9 something, and they closed at $1,950,950 in a relatively quick period of time. And this is happening at every price point. You can see $499 to $499, $739 to $733, $610 to $603. So it maintained a pretty healthy list price to sales price. And then I just thought it was interesting on the things that got under contract. The the things quickly. Here's things this week in the last 7 days that got under contract. Something here was 627 Arlington on the market for a day or two, 1.3 million, got under contract immediately. The house on 703 Omar, same thing. Got under contract in the first week for 1,385,000. Every price point. The 5-6, I showed that Chantilly house that was in Shepherd Park Plaza for 690. Day one, they sent the little email, multiple offers for a remodeled 3 or 4 bedroom home with a swimming pool. It was nicely remodeled. It was still a little funky. My clients wondered about the level of storage in the house, but it's just showing in the 500s. My daughter continues to look for homes, and houses continually get under contract in that $400,000 to $450,000 range. They do just fine in the $500,000 range. The $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 range appears to be doing well. And you see Ashton had one in the 600 block of Omar for 1.4 million, got under contract this last week. So even in the higher price points, I'm seeing things get under contract relatively quickly. This 1135 Oxford, same thing. If you price your house appropriately in the heights, if it's a good condition, if you've done what your realtor asked you to do, make it look the best from day one, you're still getting plenty of activity. What we're looking at is the level of demand. Are housing options still desirable for people? And the answer is yes. And I want to be realistic, of course. It's not the time to be ambitious, but houses certainly are still selling in Montrose, still selling in Area 17, West University Place is doing fine, appeared to be a little softer at the very high end over there, but the number of houses definitely still selling just fine. So follow this market watch on a 7-day basis, 30-day basis, get with your real estate agent and see what's happening in your particular area, whether that's Galveston, up north in the Woodlands or any of those areas. You're starting to see, I saw the first few remnants of coming soon. These are houses that are not yet available on the public websites, realtor.com, HAR.com, but are available on the multiple listing service for real estate agents to know about. So coming soon is up, and if you put a sign, you have to put it to coming soon within 1 business day. You can leave it there for 14 days. You can't have any showings when it's coming soon. It would then go to withdrawn. When you're ready to show to the public, put it back active. We don't have private per seller up yet, but I anticipate it being up in the next week or two, which is going to be another good option for some particular sellers and agents. So putting out a few more options out there. The virtual open houses and the open house discussion, we decided at HRIS not to really encourage public open houses for the most part, because the realtors were not in any position to control the large number of crowds. If 40 people show up and they're all hanging out on the porch, or there were 10 people in a dining room, it's very hard if the realtor's upstairs in the master bathroom showing something to be able to control the crowds. And we must be concerned about the health and safety of our real estate agents as well as the general public. And so there were public open houses, just not on HAR.com. I noticed Tim Surratt was in the newspaper today in a Nancy Sarnoff article. And then you get a fair amount of criticism, though. There's some people that are, we were not ready for the negative backlash. We encourage virtual open houses where the realtor goes to the open house, does a virtual tour where people can log in, they can tell when it's done ahead of time, and then make appointments. If we do the virtual open house from 1 to 1:30, then schedule appointments, an appointment at 2, another one at 2:30, another one at 3. We want to show houses. We definitely want to show houses for our sellers. We want to show houses to people who want to look at houses. We just think we need to do so in the safest, most secure environment, practicing the best health practices that we know of. And so maintaining the safety and security of the general public needs to be what we focus on till we get just a little bit better grip on the coronavirus. So you'll see more and more of these virtual open houses. The technology is still relatively new and it drops a few people, and we're having to practice even ourselves. We're going to have a practice session tomorrow for our agents, and we're going to practice a little bit before we go live on some of these deals. But virtual open houses truly are, I think, what we're going to be doing for the next couple of weeks. We'll look at phase 2 and how that works, but I mean, just rushing back into public open houses, especially houses that are occupied, are not something that I'm particularly going to advise. We want to make houses available. We just want to, like I say, do it so in the safest possible manner that you can do so. So as we see what happens, I mean, you're going to see more and more people pop up over here to look at houses, and we're hoping for what was the spring selling season moving forward a little bit. I'm in a number of Zoom with economists, with forecasters, with business people across our city, and I know that there are plenty of people that are very concerned and are facing uncertainties economically, and we want to be sensitive to those individuals. Aaron, I'm not sure who else popped on my name, but the audio might be echoing over here a little bit. Okay, thank you. You know, but there are some markets that are going to be stronger than others, and we just want to be sensitive to the needs. There's a fair amount of positive news that we could look for. There's a fair amount of negative news, and so I am clearly a realist. But it's like this. If you have a glass, you can focus on whether it's half full or it's half empty. For some people, it's half empty. But for many of us, it might be half full. And that's what I think we're going to have to look at. Our cup isn't going to be overflowing in Houston, Texas for quite a while. With the situation in oil, it's just not going to be the booming economy, and people are not going to get the same bonuses that they got before. Their income may be cut significantly. For those that lose jobs, many of them are not going to get a job at the same price point, and I don't want to be insensitive to that in the least. But most people still have to have a home, still don't want to necessarily be a tenant, are probably going to sell a more expensive house and buy a more affordable house. And that's what we want to be here for, help people to do those very things that are in their best interest. And we're going to take an optimistic view, a view that Houston is a great place to live. It's a great place to own a home. It's a great place to work and raise your family and be a part of a sense of community. So we look for positive news. An example of that is things like this. I focused on this last time, and people talk about, is this the 80s again? And if you just follow this little tracker, are more people moving to Houston or more people leaving Houston? And they've always done this sort of little deal about the number. U-Haul puts out this little deal through the renter migration report, and more people have been renting U-Hauls coming to Houston than have been leaving Houston going someplace else. We've had 37% of the rentals coming into the area and only 20% of the area leaving the area. Many of those areas coming are coming from California, from Chicago, from some of the more urban environments, moving to our region because it's more affordable. It is less densely populated and offers opportunities for individuals in a number of different careers. So I'll continue to focus on things like this. And there's plenty of optimism just in the mortgage industry as it relates to low interest rates and its ability to stimulate housing for individuals. So I mean, I think there's plenty of positive news out there. We want to focus on that positive news. We want to continue to be your resource. So I did get, my sister is making me a wide variety of masks, and we participate in the mask. This is my Taco Tuesday mask that I'm going to use for my tacos on Cinco de Mayo. I hope that you get out to enjoy Cinco de Mayo. But what I really wanted to end it with was today, more importantly than Cinco de Mayo, is Giving Tuesday. And I'm sure you've been inundated in your inbox about nonprofits and groups that have been impacted by the coronavirus, and they want you to remember there are plenty of people that have need. We started this year at Boulevard Realty. I challenged my agents for every closing. If they donated a certain amount of money, then I would match that money. And we've been doing a very good job of providing small amounts of money to a wide variety of groups, from the homeowners associations to nonprofits. Today, we're going to go out, and instead of giving to the nonprofits today for Giving Tuesday, we're going to go give to 10 local businesses. We're going to go buy a gift card, and then we're going to just give that gift card right back to them. We don't even want the services. We're going to give $100 to 10 different local businesses that have been impacted by COVID-19 as a way of Boulevard Realty giving back to the local businesses that are still hurting. And we understand that there are many of them out there, and we can't wait to get back normal and to get back into a booming economy once again. We're going to do our part to be here for those individuals that are in need. We're going to support local and support Houston. We hope that you'll join us in doing that very thing. So I hope that you'll continue to join us each Tuesday. If you have questions, you can send them in advance, or I'm happy to answer them now. Aaron, do we happen to have any questions? I'm going to take us off of share, I think, or not. I'll just leave that alone since I don't really know what I'm doing. But if we don't have any questions, please reach out to your agent today or this week, and we'll make ourselves available to answer any sort of questions that you have. I want to thank you for being here, and hope that you'll join us again next Tuesday, and we'll keep the market up to date at that time. Thank you so much, and have a great day.